Guys, I want to introduce to you the producer of our program, Mr. Doc G.
Well, everybody, welcome. This is Doc G, and of course, I have Chance McFadden, Fascinating Brian, I'm Wyatt, and whoever else joins us later for Chance's Chat. This may be for entertainment purposes only, but it also may not be. Welcome to Chance's Chat. Go ahead, Chance.
Okay, everybody wants to know the intel. Well, we're going to have a recap of what goes on right now, and because I've got a lot of commotion here at the house, people going in and out, I'm going to turn it right over to Wyatt so he can talk about his analysis of the inauguration. Go ahead, Wyatt.
Thank you, Chance. Hi, everyone. I got to tell you, the inauguration was probably the most comms-filled event that happened over the last 8-9 years. It truly was. The real Trump attended, of course. There were 7 flags behind. Those 7 flags represented the 7 kingdoms. As you heard just in the intro, the Battle Hymn of the Republic was played at the inauguration. I went back over the inaugurations of times gone by. It has never been played. And the thing is, the way I'm thinking, it probably the last time was played was during Lincoln's inauguration and maybe Ulysses S. Grant. So that was very telling. Lincoln, of course, the great emancipator and civil rights motivated, as was Martin Luther King, and there were a lot of Martin Luther King references within the inauguration. And the pastor from Stone Mountain in Georgia got up there, and I'm telling you now, I think he was channeling Martin Luther King, whether he realized it or not. I mean, that prayer was powerful, and it's one of the big moments of the three, what I call the big three, which is the Battle Hymn of the Republic, that prayer, and then the 17 seconds of silence before Carrie Underwood sang "America the Beautiful." So those were the three big moments insofar as comms were concerned. But insofar as other things, President Trump said the golden age begins right now. That was amongst the first words out of his mouth. He said the southern border will be reclaimed. We all heard this. There's a tide of change. Let's see, good. Everything, the government's failing, and those failures are going to change now. It's going to be turned around. He has the mandate to reverse all of the betrayal of the government, and because people have lost faith. And he said that America's decline is over. He's going to restore the government faith and everything, and restore the government to the way that it's supposed to be. And he said that the journey, and I quote, "The journey to reclaim the republic has not been easy." Past tense, meaning that the republic has absolutely been reclaimed. That was in the signals of in the comms from the playing of the Battle Hymn of the Republic, America the Beautiful, coming into the Golden Age, and the seven flags and the seven kingdoms. He said that the 20th of January 2025 will be known as Liberation Day. So Martin Luther King's history becomes reality. We know that he signed a lot of executive orders on moments after being, or within an hour or two after being inaugurated, and he's sent troops to the southern border. He's declared the cartels terrorists. He's invoked the Alien Enemies Act of 1788, which means that they can do the roundup any way they want. He's as Commander-in-Chief, he's going to defend America, and he's going to reverse what's happening with the economy. He's done that with his executive orders. National emergency on the southern border, national emergency for energy. He's ending wokeism and DEI. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I mean, 200 executive orders, and we're drinking from a fire hydrant at the moment when it comes to information. There were also comms in regard to the United States Marines, and that was when he was at the victory rally the day before. And he played the military now and then, and he played scenes from Full Metal Jacket. The January 6s were released. There's a lot to unpack with this, and I don't want to take up all of the airtime tonight because there's just too much. President Trump said he was returning education to the states. He's said that the states would be free, sovereign, and independent. And I started looking at things, and I went through to the Articles of Confederation of the United States. And this was the Constitution, the very first Constitution America had before the one we all know, that was ratified in 1789. Article 2. Article 2 of the Articles of Confederation talks about states' rights. and how they are sovereign, independent, and free. Article 3 talks about the unification of all of the states. And Article 4 expands on Article 3 and talks about habeas corpus and convictions in the courts and the common law, etc. And Article 11, and here's the big one, because, we all talk about Canada, how they want to, how it looks like he's going to take Canada, Greenland, Australia. Well, Article 11 says that Canada acceding to the Confederation is part of the United States. Well. We go back and you take a look at what the Canadians call the United States. They call the United States the Lower 49. So what does that mean? What is the Lower 49? To the Canadians, what does that mean to Canadians? Are they acknowledging the fact that they were or are part of the United States? Because that's a very interesting coin of phrase. But Benjamin Franklin was the Postmaster General at the time of the Articles of Confederation, as being the Postmaster General of the United States and Canada. There's a lot of references to the fact that Canada is actually part of the United States, and the United States is just going to come and reclaim it, essentially, because borders across the world, as you have seen over the years, have been redrawn so many times. And the same thing is going to happen with the Gulf of America, right? So that's a part of a redrawing of a map and the establishment of the Seven Kingdoms, those seven flags. Now, a lot of people are making a big deal about the fact that President Trump did not have his hand on the Bible. Some are saying, excuse me, some are saying it's because he was already sworn in as the president of the Republic. And some are saying he hasn't been properly sworn in because he didn't have his hand on the Bible. He doesn't need to. There's nothing in the law that says he must place his hand on the Bible. And as a follower of Christ, you should not be swearing on the Bible. It's an abomination. And you should not be swearing to God about anything. You can swear before God, but you cannot swear to him. And you should not swear on the word of God. And that is, I think, the real reason why President Trump did not put his hand on the Bible. And and because he has no legal requirement to. The oath was properly administered, and the left are going to have to get over it. But I can tell you now, all of the left and the Democrats, they're in shock. They are in absolute shock at the moment, and that's the way it's going to be for probably the remainder of the month. And the Republicans are in absolute awe. So we've got our shock and awe. President Trump said that the war has been against a very sinister enemy. And once again, past tense. And I do believe we have now entered into the cleanup stage. I think, and I've spoke to Chance the other night, and we had a bit of a talk about this. I do believe that by March, at the very latest, America will be a completely different place and in a very positive place, because energy is coming back. The prices are going to drop. I think you're going to see that probably within the next 3 weeks, because they're going to drill for oil, and the stock market after the inauguration, the energy sector went through the roof insofar as their stocks. So those benefits are going to be passed on to the people, and it's going to come out to the people very quickly. Now, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and others who were there in front of President Trump's cabinet nominees, they were being showcased. Right? What does Trump do? Every single time, he always spotlights the bad people. Mark my words, something's going to happen with all of those people. I don't know exactly what, but they will be, I would say they would be dealt with some way, because he put them all in the spotlight. And, new era of freedom for America, and indeed the rest of the world, because countries around the world are now starting to do changes. Even the Australian government, the illegitimate Australian government, is making changes in the dark of night because they know what's coming. And they're trying to save their hides. So this is happening worldwide. We've got, insofar as cryptocurrencies and whatnot, we've got the SEC trying to come up with a regulation to get that all sorted out. I mean, there's a lot of things happening in the financial markets. Now, I'll let Chance talk about when he thinks we think the RV is going to happen, because I got to tell you, it's not when we think it is, and we don't know. I mean, we know probably 1% of everything that's happening, and that one. And as I keep telling people, we are only as good as the information we get. We are only as good as the information we research ourselves, and then we formulate an opinion. We can be wrong, and unlike a lot of other people who are on podcasts, Chance and I will admit when we are wrong, and we apologize for making that mistake. We don't do anything to mislead you. I will now turn over to, or see Chance, who's, there he is. I was about to turn over to Brian because you had gone away. But I really do think, we've got some really good news coming soon insofar as the RV is concerned. Now, the thing that I want to talk about very quickly is Brunson, because, we were all saying that it was looking like Brunson was going to be released before the inauguration. I was wrong about that, and so have been a lot of other pundits. I'm sorry for giving you that information. I've started rethinking how Brunson is going to affect the future, and it will, because that ruling has to be handed down and made public at some point. I think it will not be done until President Trump is completely satisfied that America is unified and that they are, in fact, ready for the people who are ready to hear it, because it's going to overturn the 2020 election. And that will probably, and if that happens, that will negate every single pardon that Joe Biden ever gave. And the funny thing is, he pardoned his own family, but he did not pardon himself. So that's interesting. So I'll turn it back over to you, Chance. Thank you for letting me speak my piece.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to address a couple things, okay? When you see somebody doing this, okay, see that? That's a sign of the Illuminati. You see somebody doing this, that's a downward pointing spear. That's the opposite of the Illuminati. You guys spent about 3 days talking about that on Telegram, okay? When Trump went like this, and I believe it was his son-in-law went like this, that's the opposite of the Illuminati. That's the spear that's going into the heart of the deep state. Now, if you go back, you go back a year on this show, Bruce finally admitted he was misled. I can't believe it. Oh my. Yeah. Anyway, so let's not talk about this or this anymore, or this or whatever. Okay, the Nazis, the sign for the swastika. Has anybody seen the swastika? Okay, that is actually a copyrighted and trademarked emblem, but you see it in movies. No, you don't. You see the mirror image of it, which is not copyrighted or trademarked. and that is open source, and you can use it anytime. And that's why they use the reverse swastika in movies. That's a little bit of fact there. I know a lot of people don't know. Bruce and Wolverine, they were giving us false information as they were also victims. Well, you want some information? You want some information? I'm going to give you some information. I have a lady that is sick. Yeah. The Oath on the Bible was started by the Masons, but I have a lady who's sick. Her name's Carol, and she's a friend of mine, and I've done some work for her. And she needs suggestions on homeopathic treatment for COPD. Okay, she's in a lot of pain. And of course, like so many of us, with limited resources. So if you got anything, bring it on the show tonight. Type it in. Type it in on the chat. Okay, we want to hear what your suggestions are. Now, I want to address the people that were on the private Telegram page. The private Telegram page, 2 days ago, we sent out a plea to help our sister Janelle in where was she at? Alabama. And she needed $415, and or she's going to get her gas shut off today. So I made a plea on the Telegram page, and everybody sent the money. And thank you all. We'll be giving a formal thank you to the people that contributed. And she was so grateful. And I had it done, but we had it done by 8:30 this morning. So I got up out of bed special to pay it. And then after I did it, I want to tell you, this is a little sidebar here. Does Brunson have to be released before the RV can happen? No, it has nothing to do with that. Nope. One thing has nothing to do with the other. Okay, now I made me forget what I was going to say. Restitution for the people on Social Security. I'm expecting a big Social Security check for everybody on the first of the month. I'm just expecting it. Not that I have any information. Bruce is a bot. No, Bruce isn't a bot. I know that for a fact. Over the last 14, 15 years, Bruce has gone through hell trying to keep his group together. I don't like the information that he's given, and he's given more false start than the guy that says the dam is falling. The dam is falling. But okay. Bruce has lost his wife, from what I understand. Bruce has damn near lost his eyesight, and he's suffered a lot during this time. And he's trying to do the best that he can. I've joked about him many, many times, but yes, Wyatt is a very, very deep source of information for us, and we really appreciate him. He does have a new Rumble channel, but I don't think you're going to be broadcasting on that a lot, are you, Wyatt? Bruce's, yeah, you get the intel at the end of the night, okay? And the intel at the end of the night.
Yeah, I've got 2 videos up on the channel, and those I'm hoping are going to be the only 2 that will be necessary. I'm not trying to get a public persona like a lot of other people. I'm wanting to move on to the next phase as quickly as I can, but I will try and I'll put the link up to the channel, and then you can go and look at the 2 videos. Okay, and I'll get Doc to do it for you. But I'm wanting to work with the military alliance, essentially. I think I have a lot to offer. And they definitely need local knowledge for Australia. So, but when you see the videos, you will understand.
I'm reading some of the posts that come up. They go so fast. I don't get to read them all. But
Chance, they're
anyway,
coming in by the hundreds. I can't even put them up fast as they come in.
wow.
So not everyone gets put up. I can't put everyone up because I can't see them all. If they're like,
right. I get it. Okay, guys, listen. You get the intel at the end of the night. We've got a lot to talk about, and
Chance, before you continue, can I talk about what I told you about? I think this is a good segue into what you're going to say. And that is about the mortgages, the loans, the credit cards. If you research on Google, you should be able to find Alliance Credit Corporation was sued by More. I don't know the full name, but it was More, More. The Supreme Court found. What do you know about it, Wyatt?
Yeah, More, MOORE. Yeah,
right.
More versus Alliance Credit Union.
Well, that was Supreme Court found that mortgage or any mortgage or all mortgages are fraud. And they proved it on that case. So you can use that case to justify any mortgage that you're paying on.
Yeah. And
the problem,
money has no intrinsic value.
Right. And well, that's true. But and the problem is it also resurfaces all about the SQ from the Social Security and birth certificate.
Right.
Yep.
But we all know about that. It's just that now the Supreme Court is telling us everything we knew.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I'm
going to address that.
Go ahead. This wouldn't have happened if it wasn't the fact that President Trump got elected in November.
Correct.
It would not have happened.
Right.
No way in the world.
Correct.
Now, if you go on a Supreme Court website, you're not going to find that ruling. You're not going to find it, okay? Because it's not on the Corporation Supreme Court website. Did you all forget that we have a Supreme Court that has not been announced yet in the Republic? Trump started putting it together of June last year. That's where that precedence is listed. And that website has not been made public. I have just given you information that nobody has ever given you, okay? And this is because nobody realizes you all are having trouble letting loose of the corporation. I mean, they've MK'd Ultra everybody. Now,
sure did.
So when the Republic Supreme Court rulings are made public, you will find that is a true statement. But according to the Corporation Supreme Court, it doesn't exist. Okay, that's been going on the internet, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Okay, thousands of corporations lost their lawsuits. Okay, thank you. You got to remember all these filings with the Supreme Court for the Republic are not public. Okay, they will be made public soon. But anyway, yeah, get out of 3D thinking. I like that. Fascinating, Brian. What do you think about all this movie stuff?
Unmute yourself, Brian.
Just to be clear, that there is an idea that I think it's not troubling, but it needs to be acknowledged. So there is a word that I would like people to pay attention to, because you probably heard it in scripture, and I'm not trying to quote scripture, but you do have to be aware of many, many false idols. You just have to be aware of its separate similes or separate ideas. It doesn't necessarily have to be people, even though majority of them do reference people. What the opportunity for the human, for their experience, for their growth is, you're essentially choosing lesser two evils in addition to on the other side of the scale, where there is also two variants of a more benevolent outcome. So the lesser of those two evils, let's say, is the cabal, the cable guys, right? They're pretty much done for, right? So you don't really have to worry about them. They're being rounded up, but you do have to be aware that in this current juncture, the other verse, which is the Luciferians, they are still in charge, lesser than the other evil. Okay, it is still a faction. There are factions of light, there are factions of dark. Why am I emphasizing on this? Because it's important to identify what you're going to want to play in your playground as a future human. So if you're going to be all about materialism and materialistic principles, that's great for the Luciferians. They will enjoy it. And just to let you know, they're still here because they're paying, you can think, generational karma. Okay? They're paying because their family members played in the most terrible and horrific way.
Yep.
So they're trying to balance it out, but it does not mean that they are not incorruptible. It does not mean that they aren't going to fall back into old habits, because it's generational karma. And the light side of the scale is going to observe and watch and not necessarily push themselves in unless there is going to be something dynamic enough to where it's going to cause a very invasive and detrimental energy to the human collective. So this has nothing to do with archons. This has nothing to do about draconians. And just so you know, draconians and dracos are two different species. So if you're referring draconians are dragons. The dracos or dracos are more the humanoid version. Okay, there's a lot of bad, there's a lot of good, but we don't want to hyper focus on any of that, because a lot of these entities exist more fourth dimensionally. They can even transverse the astral realm. There are even disincarnate family members that just stay in the astral form and influence the physical form. So you have to understand that the scope of your experiences is more than just the physical side, but you only know what you can see and perceive with your five senses. So back to what's really important is, do not idolize the Trump. Do not idolize his son. Do not idolize any of the ideas unless they reflect the principle of what is considered for the human. Okay? You can have an idea of something, but you should not worship it, because it does pull from creation. It does, and I do mean from the astral realm, and things do pull in. And if people are more thirst and materialistically driven, because you all don't understand how things bleed over from the astral, let alone how it inflicts physical detrimental aspects in how you exit. And a lot of people are probably like, well, what do you mean? You're saying the astral side kills you? Yes, absolutely. And the only reason why I'm kind of explaining this is, let's use a simile. You think of a ship, okay? A ship on an ocean. Think of you, the body, the ship. You too are on an ocean. You're on a dry land, right? So the ship in the sea has chances what? To hit rocks, reefs, or be sunk by tons of torpedoes. The ship cannot see what's underneath it, which is the astral. It's just impossible. It's the same for your ship. You cannot see what can take place at any given moment that could affect your journey from the astral. Does that mean that you should ignore it? No, you should endeavor to be aware of just trying to understand energy differently so you could better navigate it. So you're going to need to grow, because we are considered in a more fourth dimensional experience where you could just say we're in 4D. 4D means, this is what 4D means. It means you can have physical experiences with a lot of these entities you are terrified of, that you would consider boogeyman, part of your nightmare, if you do not pay attention to the energy and to the energy dynamics, or to the cause and the effect of any or all given situations that you create or the collective creates. It is very, very possible for things to manifest differently now. So don't follow anyone's lead. Don't follow your lead. Be your own guiding ship, and just be aware of what's underneath your feet, even if you can't see it. And be fearless. So it's not going to be pretty. I'm just going to tell you, as we move forward, it's going to be a lot of turbulent waves, and it's only because humans aren't ready. They're not ready. I have not seen anyone willing to learn or understand astral related matters. I have not. No one asked me questions. Everyone's grounded in 3D. You're ill-equipped. This is my personal opinion. You're not prepared for navigating multidimensionally speaking, because you're going to find that these things are going to be able to influence you even greater, because the energy is just right for interlocking and interweaving and manifesting in such a way to where you're not going to have the tools to put your guard up, and it's going to make it easy for you to be taken advantage of, and you may not even know it. You may notice it over time, but you're just not prepared. So that's how I see it moving forward.
Brian, I'm going to tell you what, I think that was really, really good. And I'm going to tell you, I absolutely 100% support President Trump and his agenda and everything he's working on and doing and has done. Okay. We know what's getting ready to happen, and it's all good. But I'm going to tell you what, I will never worship him. I won't put a shrine up to him. I won't, nor his son. You know, they are the stars. Melania and Robert Kennedy and Elon Musk, they're all stars in a movie. Stars and co-stars, guys. And they're helping straighten out our reality, our timeline. And this is so hard. This is so hard for me to try to express this from somebody that's so broke all the time, and that's me. But everybody's so worried about money. Everybody's just so preoccupied. What's going on with Wise, and when's the dinar going to go, and what's going on with the Forex and everything? Let it happen. whine. Let it roll out. I'm going to give you the latest information at the end of the show. We're going to have Ann from the stem cell lady, and I don't know if Lillian's going to be with her or not, but this is all a show. Central Casting's putting all the characters out there. Okay. Trump, he's really your president. The rest of them, I don't know who they are. But I can tell you one thing. Trump is not Elvis Presley. Okay? I can't buy that. I can't buy it for several different reasons. Okay? In the 70s, I did an in-depth investigation on the death of Elvis Presley. And all I had to work with was the telephone. And my wife got really mad at me because I racked up a lot of long distance calls and stuff. That's something we don't have no more, is it? But anyway, she got mad. And I said, well, through all my phone calls, I proved two things. And she says, well, what's that? So I said, well, Elvis isn't dead. And he's touring the country in disguise as John Burroughs. And I also learned that George Superman Reeves did not kill himself. So that was pretty good investigative reporting for 1970s, and all you had is a phone, okay? And I'm not going to go into that anymore. Yeah, I see that. Lillian's on a flight to come and see you. Good. I don't know if she's going to get there in time. Go ahead, Wyatt.
There's no ideology with me when it comes to President Trump. I acknowledge that he's doing great things, and he deserves every bit of respect for the office that he holds.
Absolutely.
But I am not a yes man, and President Trump, I think, has found the right people, but they won't be yes people. They will stand up to him if it's wrong. I'm hoping that they would, because yes men are the real reason as to why we were in the situation that we were in. Now, insofar as headaches, somebody's talking about, carry some shungite in your pocket, ground, and just ask God for his full armor, and pray to the 7 archangels in heaven, and ask them to protect you from mental, physical, emotional, health-wise, as well as astral, and they will protect you, and these headaches will be blocked. But you've got to have that relationship to be able to do that. I lost my wallet a couple of days ago, and I asked the archangel, can you help me find my wallet? 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, I knew exactly where it was, and I was losing my mind not knowing. And I thought, hang on, I've got help. So I just asked for help, and I got it.
Yep.
So, that's what it's all about.
Okay.
Tell people about YMCA. I love that.
Yeah. Do you really want me to do it? I thought you were going to do that. I think that is.
I thought I'd let you have that one.
Oh, you're going to let me have that privilege? I learned it from you, and so since then, I called my contact at Gitmo, and guess what? You're right. Okay, Guantanamo Bay, that particular location used to be a YMCA. Now it is a prison. Okay, now we know why Trump has basically been given the finger, read between the lines. Okay, the finger to the deep state, because they're gone. Okay, YMCA. It's fun to play at the YMCA. All right, let's get down and boogie, because the bad guys are going there. All right, Ann, I am so glad to see you tonight. How are you?
Hello, how's everybody doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ann Ziegenhorn, and she is my main contact at LifeWave, the stem cell people.
Yep.
And patches, and I am wearing 5 patches right now. And
Well,
notice, now, this is a little better lighting so you can see it, but if you'll notice, the dark circles are going away.
you're looking good,
Yeah.
looking real good. So Lillian is probably already boarded the flight. So her flight takes off at like 8:21 or something. So she's probably on the flight right now. So she's heading to see me. We have a function this weekend, and so she's heading this way. So if she doesn't get a chance to pop on, that would be why. And yeah, but I had heard about the YMCA as well. So
Yeah, there's so much good stuff going on. I mean, and here's the whole thing, guys. And okay, you're a lady, and you got to know what I'm getting ready to say is absolute truth. Okay, but why is it for 50, 60 years on television and on radio, further back than that, they love the soap operas? They love the soap operas. Got to watch All My Children. I got to watch my program every day. One Life to Live. The Doctors. You got to watch those soap operas. Okay, guys, guess what?
General Hospital.
Yeah, General Hospital. Yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing, guys. That's what they're doing. That's what the white hats are giving us. They're giving us a soap opera to keep us entertained. You want your blind spot? There it is.
And they don't call them TV programs without reason. It's
Right.
programming. They're telling you.
we are programming your brain.
So I wanted to tell you a little thing from Maria number 1, my friend out in Las Vegas. And now she occasionally takes her mother, as bad as she is, to try to get some external energy and get her out and take her to the casino for what she calls playing bingo, but it's not really bingo. She just puts her hand on the machine and is gambling, probably penny slots or something like that, and then she can push it down real easy. Okay. And she just kind of sits there, leans to one side, and okay, that was her demeanor before. Last week she went, after being on the patches, and she was hitting that button like that, and she was looking around, and she was sitting up in the chair without leaning. Okay?
Nice.
Now I call that improvements. Now also, when she went at home, she'd be carrying on conversations, and she doesn't talk at all. But I think she was probably talking in her sleep or something like that. But we're talking about a woman that was nearly comatose, and we're seeing signs of life.
Yeah.
We're seeing signs of life. So I'm checking with her, make sure she has enough patches and everything. But
Okay.
I'm kind of thinking within 2 or 3 months, I would sure like to believe that there's going to be a boost. There's going to be an awakening in her body, that she's going to be able to respond more normally. And I'm very hopeful for Maria and her mother on that, because it's a lot of work taking care of somebody full time.
Yeah. It is. And that's always good when we get those type of testimonies, because one of the things is, again, this is may or may not be for entertainment purposes only. I'm not here to make a medical claim, but I'm here to tell you anything that I do know, a story that somebody has told me about themselves, which is a true story to them. And, when I didn't have to have a liver transplant because my liver enzymes finally went back to normal, and my hands woke up and I started practicing hygiene again after the neuropathy from having the breast implant illness. It's one of those things where you just kind of go, what did I do different? Well, the only thing I did different was wear these patches. And the patches state that they will wake up those dormant cells that are in your system. That's just one of the biggest things. It's not to say it's a cure-all. What I'm saying is you still need nutrition. You still need, like, you want to eat as healthy as you can. You still want to take the nutrients and vitamins and minerals. It makes them work better because
Yes.
now you have more cells awakened to react to the nutrition that you're feeding it.
Right. Okay. Could I ask Brian a question? Brian, are you seeing any improvement with your dad on the patches?
My dad hasn't even, I don't even know if my dad's contacted Anne.
He has not.
Okay. Then I have to see what he's up to. Probably waiting for the seasons to change so he could do golf. But I have noticed that they do work from my end, but at the same time, so this is probably something for people that may not realize. If you are pretty much flushed out of your system, like very detoxed, you may not need 4 or 5 patches. I found when I took 4 patches at once, I actually had an adverse side effect. So, and that adverse side effect was a headache. It was very unpleasant, and I didn't know that could happen. But knowing that my system's pretty clean, I'm good just doing the 2. So I just do the 39
And the 49.
and I
Yeah.
do feel much slimmer or trimmer, I guess, like looking a couple years younger. And I was just like, I was like, well, yeah, I'll take what I can get.
I love it.
Doc G,
And that just shows that he can just do the 39-49. So do you live near your dad?
No, my dad lives the kind of like where Chance, same state as Chance.
Okay. The reason why I was asking is because we could have you send those other patches to your dad, and we would only have to get him the 39-49.
Oh, okay.
That's a thought.
I got a couple quick stories I like to tell about the patches. One is I went into the grocery store the other day and they said, because I go in the grocery store all the time and the same people see me all the time. They said, what are you doing differently? And I said, why? What are these patches? Oh, what kind of patches? I said, they help the stem cells. And they say they're really working. You really look younger. And I said, oh, that's great. Thank you for that news. I've had norovirus this last week. My kids have had norovirus. My wife had it. It's finally gone away from me now. It only lasted about a day and it's gone, which is great. Thanks to the patches, because everybody else I know has had it 3 or 4 days or longer. I've had that stomach problem over here on the side. That seems to have dissipated a little bit more. So they really are doing a lot to me, helping me, I know. And I'm trying to share with everybody else so they can see the different health advantages you get from them as far as the different problems we have. I have a friend that's got diabetes, and he says, will the patches work on them? And I said, yeah, I believe they will. So I sent him some patches. So I'm waiting to hear results from him in maybe a week or so. So I'll know because his diabetes, his blood sugar is always high. And no matter what he eats, his blood sugar is always high. So he can eat just plain, no sugar, no carbs, and his blood sugar is still high.
The spike.
So patches, the spike. So if these patches help with that, he may buy the patches. He told me I'll buy the patches if they work. So we'll see.
Yeah. And every body is different. But all I do know is that no matter who you are, the patches will work because all they're doing is waking up dormant stem cells. And when your stem cells are dormant, they're not working. So by waking them up, it starts to activate everything that's your body, how it needs to function properly. And then when you have the good, healthy eating and nutrients that you're giving it, now more cells are receiving it properly.
Yeah, and my dad is saying that he's feeling better. He's saying that his general health is improving. I've noticed that the myopathy that he has in his right leg, which causes his foot to flop, is not happening as much now. It's hardly noticeable. I think that he's in the process. He will start working on his eyes very soon. So they do work. I'm telling you, these patches do work. They, you know, for some people they may be expensive, but you know, what price do you put on your health? I mean, seriously, what price? So, you know, and we'll give you the, you know, you get in touch with me, Chance, or Doc, or even Brian, and
Yep.
you know, we can help you out with the patches.
And one of the things I like to remind people is they say try to give the patches 1 month for every decade old you are. So if you're in your 80s, you're looking at 8 months. If you're in your 90s, you're looking at 9 months. So anything that happens before that, bonus. And when you get the patches, the X3949 are your main patches. They'll do everything your body needs to do. They'll turn over the cells in a year and a half's time, approximately, what normally would have taken 7 years to turn over. When you add those other adjunctive patches, such as glutathione, it just means that you're getting the glutathione to spark on quicker. When you add the anti-inflammatory, the EON, AEON, that is just means the anti-inflammatory. Well, the 39 and 49 are anti-inflammatories, but when you add the EON, it makes the inflammation go away quicker. When you add the carnosine, that's your organ health. It makes it help your organs and your nerves quicker. And one of the things I was not realizing that glutathione did, and about 6 weeks ago I learned it, I didn't realize glutathione is what moistens your joints. So it helps to give you more moisture in your bones and your joints. That means less chance of breakage when you're aging. Because most people in their 70s, 80s, and 90s that fall and break a hip, many times that's the start of their demise.
Right, right. You know, the other thing I've shared this before, but my sciatica is gone. Okay, now I have a little bit of stiffness in that leg still, but that sciatica, and you know how I was limping and walking with a cane, and I was having a hell of a time getting around. I was really feeling my age, but I'm not feeling that anymore. And I am noticing with this 25 degree below zero weather that we're having in Mayberry here in Fort Madison, Iowa, when I go outside and I'm out there for just 5 minutes, I come back in, my lungs are burning cold. Okay. They're just, and I have to, it's so cold, it just takes your breath away. So I have to sit down. So I think what I'm going to do on starting tomorrow, because I experienced it so much today, I think tomorrow I'm going to put my 39 and my 49 here. Okay. And right here on my chest and see if that negates that cold that I get coming through there. I don't think it will negate the cold, but it's the burning is so intense.
Mm-hmm.
I literally have to come in. I have to sit down because I got to wait until I breathe enough warm air in to get my lungs warmed up. I'm going to tell you what, it's nasty ass cold. Okay. That's the only thing I can say. I don't usually cuss on the air, but it is nasty ass cold. And I
can actually empathize for all of you for a change, because Destin and Fort Walton Beach, Florida, Destin only had like 2.5 inches of snow, but my area in Fort Walton Beach got approximately 5 to 6 inches, and my daughter up in Crestview, Florida, got 8 inches of snow.
See,
and we're in Florida.
You get to living in Florida and getting all that good weather all the time. See, it all comes back to bite you in the rear. See.
I know. I put a post that said, "Welcome to the Sunshine State," and I put all my snow photos up.
Oh my God.
Well, I tell you what, I'd rather be in Florida right now than here, because it's hot. It's damn hot.
Yeah, I was talking to Maria number 1 the other day in Las Vegas, and she was sitting out on her patio, and she looked, and she has a thermostat right there, and it 65 degrees. She says, "Yeah, it's 65, a little chilly. I think I'll go get a sweater." Oh, I wonder why I oughta, But I felt so bad for her, the poor little thing, But listen, it's different folks for different folks, and we're going to persevere through this bad weather, guys. We're going to make it. And just remember, eventually, when this movie gets over, the natural weather just might come into play.
Yay.
And that's actually a comment for setting you up for a comment there for Fascinating Brian, because when do you think the real, yes, it is, thank you. When do you think the real weather is going to be re-implemented, Brian?
So what a lot of people don't understand is like even the ocean waves or whatever, like the heating or cooling and however weather presides, even the ocean does affect the surface. So it's like it's interesting because like the undersea water is its own layer of dense oxygen. It's its own ecosystem and realm, but its own elements will affect our plane also, just as like the volcanoes, what goes on in the volcanoes will affect whatever weather surrounds. But if you're asking, if you're wondering if there's going to be the idea of like weather manipulation being used, probably if there, let's say, huge earthquake shifts, they'll have countermeasures in place to like create some type of oscillation factor to mitigate or counter like lessening the earthquake or whatnot. So I don't think the technology is gonna be what it's typically used. It'll be used sparingly because the idea is we need to be more in harmony with nature, and nature has its own rules, and we happen to infringe a lot of ideas and really take advantage of nature in not a very good way. So I think whatever that idea looks like, we're just going to have to wait and see in the future.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. Guys, before we go any further, I do have Intel coming up in about a half an hour. And don't be surprised if this show goes on another hour because there's still a lot to cover. And you're exactly right. They even covered that in Star Trek. If you remember the Star Trek movie about the whales and the frequency and the reason the Earth was falling apart because they didn't have any humpback whales. Okay. There's more truth to that stuff than what you know. The ecosystem of our realm is very, very delicate, and it's surprised that we have survived through all the weather manipulation that the cable guys have given us. But what I want to talk about now, I'm going to change gears on you guys. This Hamilton Radio is in dire need of donations. So if you want to donate, that would be great. You could send it to Doc's Cash App is down. So you could send it to me at my Cash App. For every $5 that you donate, see this guitar Doc's holding up? That's a Fender Stratocaster copy. It's a nice guitar. It came from my shop. I sent it to Doc for a promotion. I've also signed it on the back and the date, okay, that I donated it to the station. We are going to, for every $5 donated, we're gonna put your name in the hat, and I'm going to upload it into an AI, basically an AI shuffler that will pick the winner. And we're not going to have anything to do with it. I'm going to download a shuffler, and it'll select the winner. So if you donate, thank you, Jody. I love the Truman Show, and the funny thing about the Truman Show, Jody, is it was based on a true incident that happened in the 1950s. You want to know more about it, you know where I live. Anyway, the guitar. So if you donate $100, then you get 20 chances on the guitar. It's 20 in the auction, or not the auction, in the raffle. So for every $5 your name goes in, okay, and I'm going to have nothing to do with it. I'm going to program it all into AI, and we'll send it out. It's comes with a bag, and it comes with some accessories, and it'll all be there, and we'll ship it to you for free. And all the funds collected will go to Hamilton Radio, because if Hamilton Radio's not here, guys, we don't have a voice. And I can tell you from the experience that our voices, whether we're right, whether we're wrong, whether indifferent, our voices are appreciated by our audience. Now, 2 weeks ago, I had a guy who followed me, and he was some kind of a marketing analyst. And he said, I think I said this last week. I may have. I love you, Jody. That's my daughter. Anyway, he did some figures and computations and stuff. He says, on that show you had 2 weeks ago, he says, you had 410,000 people watching you on different platforms across the realm. That's a lot of people. I didn't know that many people would want to talk to or listen to a motley crew like us, But everybody, go Daddy go. I love that. I love it when Jody says "Go Daddy go." That's the best thing. I want to stir the pot. I want to dance or something when she says that. Hey, one of these days I'm going to get her over here for the show, and we're going to sing the introduction for you. Okay, her and I are going to sing "You've Lost That Love and Feeling," and the reason I want to sing that is because that's our best song that we sing together. And so, next couple of weeks we'll probably do that if we're not in 50-degree below zero weather.
Hey, Dr.
But anyway, no, you ought to hear her sing. Oh boy, I'll tell you what. Even with the microphone on this thing, she'll have to stand back against the wall, or she'll blow the microphone out. I'm telling you, she's got a voice. And but anyway, so if you guys can, it's Cash App, $McFadden Chance, $McFadden Chance, to keep the station going. For every $5 you donate, you're going to get a chance at the guitar. Okay, and if you just want to donate, say I'm not interested in the guitar, just here, help us out. I don't make anything off this. This is completely for the station. And boy, I'm going to tell you what, it's tough. And that's why we really appreciate your support. And somebody will get the guitar, and it will be shipped, and it will be very well packed. You still got that box? I shipped that in, Doc?
Yep, same box. Yep. All I got to do is seal it up.
I'll just tell you how to pack it, and it'll get to the winner on its own. Now, I want to tell you, before I forget this, because I got so many things to say, and so does Wyatt. There is a special on the LifeWave stem cell patches. Cash App is not in Canada. That is correct, but wise.com is. You can send it to wise.com. Okay? And just look for Brian Paul McFadden on wise.com. I'm the only one. And so you'll be able to find me. And so for every $5, the money is going to go to the station. I am not going to keep it. All right. Now, where was I at? Let's see.
Stem cell patches.
Stem cell patches. They got a special going on this month. What is the special, Ann?
For anybody who orders the carnosine, glutathione, and Eon as a trio, for $149, you get a free energy enhancer. So 1 month supply, a 15-day supply, which what I do with this one is I wear it every other day. And that's how I get it to last a whole month. Instead of wearing it every day, I just wear it every other day. And that seems to work for me because with the energy enhancer, just like the Ice Wave, you can technically wear these ones a little bit longer. The other ones, you only want to wear your 12 hours. You want those to light up your stem cells. And then you want to turn them off by pulling them off at the 12-hour mark. These ones have a negative and a positive charge, so it's a 2-patch system. So a lot of people didn't realize that there's 2 sections, and one has, so the energy enhancer and the ice wave both have a tan patch and a white patch. So you put the tan on the left side of the body, you put the white one on the right. I typically like to wear mine right here on the forearm, and then I match it on this side, and it's 3 fingers down. Do the same thing over here, or you wear it right here. So when you see the athletes, a lot of times they would take their shirts off and you would see the patches here. You can wear it, as Chance likes to wear it on his forehead. So you can do that and put the other one down here or back behind the neck, and that's fine as well. It's just moving energy in the body. You can also put anything you want on the bottom of your feet. So energy enhancer.
Might be why that my mustache is coming in darker, too. And
yes.
and I'm not dyeing it. Okay.
So my daughter had told me my hair is coming in dark, and we had been blending my grays so that I looked all more silver, and we had to throw dark back in my hair because my hair started coming back in darker.
Mine is too. My hair is actually growing longer, and I'm actually starting to fill in the front, and I didn't do anything.
Right.
Except for wear patches.
Yeah, other than patches, yeah.
Doc, your hair's growing quicker too.
It's starting to. It really is.
Like your beard.
Oh no, that's always grown.
Only a couple of weeks ago, it wasn't there at all. And look at you now.
Oh, okay. You see it better than I do. I don't.
It's growing very fast.
Carlisle asked where's Drake Bailey and Kent?
Oh yeah,
they're off the air. They are not on the air anymore. I'm sorry. I can't tell you anything more about it. He was here. Kent was here with us. Drake Bailey's health has not enabled him to be on the air. And they're both good guys, and I miss talking to them.
Me too.
And I miss their information. Okay, Jody, the patch that you need is the 39 and the 49. Right, Ann?
Yes. Yep, 39 and 49.
Yep. So I'm
now if she's talking about, are you talking about number 11s right here? Alavita. She wants the Alavita patch. That's the one when you wear at nighttime because it improves your collagen, and you always want your collagen repair to happen at night. So Alavita, not only do you wear it at night to help collagen to repair the body, but it also helps you actually get a restful night's sleep.
Somebody wants you to repeat the price and how many do you get on the patches?
Okay. So with, and I don't have them in front of me. Go ahead. My purse is near me. Okay. So when you purchase for $149, the carnosine, and, or do I not have all my patches here? No, they're on the kitchen counter. Sorry, I don't have all of them in my hand. So let's just pretend that these are the other ones. So you would get carnosine, glutathione, and the Eon. So you get your normal 30-day supply each. You get a free energy enhancer. $149 for the 3 of it's glutathione, Eon, and carnosine, and you get a free energy enhancer.
I will tell you guys one other thing that I've noticed that I haven't talked to anybody about. Okay, since I've been using these patches, I have very little sinus headaches and very little sinus drainage. You know, when I feels like something's getting you'll see me wipe my nose, and I shouldn't do that on the air and everything, but you know, it is what it is. But I used to have terrible sinus headaches. I used to have terrible, nose running, catch a cold easy, and I haven't even gotten the sniffles or anything. Nice. It's drying up my sinuses. It looks like my sinuses are drying up real good. If you're in Australia, it's Wyatt of Earp at mail.com. That's WYATTOFEARP at mail.com. If you're in Australia and you want the patches, just send him an email and he'll take care of it for you. We'll get you rocking and rolling. Okay, expiration of the patches. You can wear the patches for 12 hours at a time.
Yeah, so the 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Now, every now and then, say somebody gets them and they're just excited to put them on, and it's like 9 o'clock at night. you wait and take them off 9 o'clock in the morning. But sometimes it's an odd hour that they arrive. So they slap them on at 1 in the afternoon. Well, most people aren't going to wake up at 1 in the morning to take them off. So we say just wear them till you wake up. But then you want to start to slowly adjust the time. So instead of putting them on at 1 the next day, you might want to wait till 3. And then you wear them 3 till you wake up. And then the next 5, so adjust it. But we like to say you want to wear your main patches during the day. When possible, wear them during the day. But can you wear them at night? Absolutely. Sometimes if I say we have low pressure happening and I start to feel pressure on my head, I might slap on the Eon to reduce inflammation, but I'll put it like on my belly button or I'll put it on my brain stem, and that will help me sleep. If during the daytime, if I feel like I'm a little anxious about something, maybe something exciting's coming up and I get anxious, then I'll put a patch right here and it just kind of calms you down. So you can put the patches in different places, but for simplicity, we tell people put them in a straight line. You can go ahead and attach them to each other. Just don't let the whites overlap, because the white area of the patch is where the crystals are. And so you don't want the crystal pattern getting disrupted. But you can stick the clear part together and make a chain or put them in a circle. So sometimes we'll tell people, especially if they have a heart or lung issue, we'll put them in a circle and say, patch yourself right there. Or we'll put them in a straight line if they are afraid they're going to fall off of them. We'll say, stick it on the bottom of your foot in a straight line. But we have diagrams, and I send the diagrams to people as well. And then we have either a Facebook group and we have a Telegram group where you can go into and get the information as well.
And when you buy the Fantastic Five, you get the booklets that show you where you can put them in your body. So there's no expiration date insofar as shelf life is concerned.
Yeah,
once you wear them and you peel. So say I've had somebody say, "Oh, I wore it, but I didn't glutathione." Sometimes they'll go, "Oh, I started feeling nauseous or I got a headache," and we're like, "Take it off and stick it on the mirror." Because when you peel it off, oxidation starts. But if you only had 2 hours use out of it, stick it on the mirror, a clean mirror, obviously. Stick it on the clean mirror and put it back on the next day. And if 2 hours is when you started to feel nauseous because it's trying to detox you, that's what glutathione does. It detoxes you. Then try to get 2 hours. And if you can get it to 3 hours, then take it back off and stick it the next day. Well, now you've gotten 5 hours use out of it. So you still have those other hours that you can go. So you can do that, but you want to stop the oxidation. So by sticking it on the mirror, 1, you see it to put it on the next day, but 2, you've stopped the oxidation. If you just peel it off and just leave it sitting out or just try to put paper back on it, your oxidation is going to take place and then the crystals are going to get all gunked up and shriveled up. And so you don't want that to happen.
Guys,
because it detoxes, you need to keep your water levels up as well.
Yes,
yes,
100%.
People do not drink enough water, and with the cold weather that's hitting America right now, keep your water up, because cold weather will actually dehydrate you faster than hot weather. And a lot of people don't realize that. So,
and that is so true, because all of a sudden I started getting Charlie horses, and I was like, I don't get Charlie horses. Why am I getting Charlie horses all of a sudden? We have this cold freeze that we're not used to here in Florida. I'm used to humidity.
Yep.
Yeah, I get that. You see this? I have started this week. I just finally got in my, I don't know if you can see it real well, but that's my plant-derived minerals from Longevity. Mm-hmm. And I am taking a shot of it every day, and I still haven't gotten the right size spray bottles, but I'm going to start putting it in the dog water, and I'm going to spray myself down 2 or 3 times a day. Doc Wiedemann will be here next week, and he promised not to take over the show like he did last week, but we love him anyway. He's good.
I love him. He's such a funny guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. And
speaking of, everybody's waiting for you to give more intel, so.
But the information he gave was extraordinary. It really was. And if you've missed it, the show last week, go back and have
it was great.
Yeah. He actually gave us all a medical lecture.
He did.
And here's
very informative.
Here's a hint to tell you guys what we're planning on. If Hamilton Radio sustains itself, which we hope we are, we're going to have our own health network. where we're going to have the patches and we're going to have Doc Wiedemann with his stuff on longevity, and we're going to add more people. We have True Herbs that wants to come aboard from Canada. So we're going to have, each one's going to have its own little shows, but at the same time, going to get promoted. We're going to be buying into the Roku channel again, which is like a $500 a month thing. But now we're going to have a music channel and a health channel and many other channels on there. So I want to create our own Hulu where it's owned by us, run by us. They can't take us down. They can't take our shows away. That's my plans. I hope you guys join us for that.
Yes.
Yeah. And please, we really need your support on this guitar raffle, or just sending a straight donation. So please take that very seriously. Wyatt, what information do you have before I give the intake officers information? What do you have anything else that you want to offer?
Well, I think the start date of a lot of things is going to be February 1st. I look, and this is pure speculation on my part, right? So you take this with your discernment. You have to do your own research. But yeah, I think the 1st of February is going to be key to this whole thing. And I would, President Trump wants his nominees confirmed. The Democrats are stonewalling, but they're not going to win. But I don't believe that the RV or anything like that can happen until such time as President Trump has got his people in the cabinet who will protect what has to happen with the RV. Now, I'm still hearing that banks are going to be part of the RV in Australia. I do not believe that to be the case. What I do think, though, that it is possible that the paymasters who are going to be doing the exchanges and and everything concerning the RV and whatnot may take office space in a bank where there is security. Now, that is a possibility. So we've got to wait and see. I mean, people are too focused on money. Greed is pushing everything at the moment because we want it now. We can't have it now, right? We're not meant to have it now. And the information that we've got, as I say, it's speculative or information is being shared that may or may not be correct, and that includes Chance's intake officer. But the thing is, there's a reason why it's all happening. There are people who have been giving out information that has been blatantly false, and we've seen some of that in the comments, and they've had to admit that they have given, false information. Chance and I have always pointed out this is what we've been told, and I've always said we are only as good as the information that we get and pass along. And if it's wrong, we'll admit it. If it's, and we'll apologize to you. It's like the Brunson case. I really did believe, and all of the intel was showing that they could possibly do it on the 19th during the rally, the victory rally. But the thing is, it didn't happen. There's a reason. There's always a reason why something does not happen when we expect it to. It's either this information is either put out to mislead the deep state, because they think it's going to happen on that date because everybody's talking about that date. So they say, oh, no, we'll do this instead. Right? But I do believe that Brunson will be made public. It will be made public probably in 3 months. But the country of the United States has to be properly unified before that can happen. Everybody's got to see the benefit. That's the left and the right together, and everybody's going to say, geez, President Trump is great. He's just as great as what Ronald Reagan was, maybe even better, right? When that happens, the people will be more prepared to accept what comes out of Brunson. And that's what it's all about, is the acceptance of the facts. And if you're not willing to accept facts right now, there's a chance that you will accept facts later on. And this is all part of that awakening process that's going on. We have a convergence of timelines happening now. And the only outcome that is going to make things better is if we all wake up and all the normies wake up. But but the thing is, not everybody's going to wake up. There are going to be people who do this ascension, and we are going through the ascension process right now. That's why we're getting the headaches. That's why we got the aches and pains. That's why we got a lot of other things going on, because it's a birthing process. And ask any woman who's had a child. Childbirth is probably one of the most painful things they will go through. Right? We're having that sort of thing spiritually, physically, to get up into the next level, for the rebirth, as it were. So, you just got to flow, go with it. But you can do things to help, like as Brian says, it's shungite, drinking plenty of water, grounding, getting yourself right with God, getting your right mindset and whatnot, thinking positive thoughts and whatnot like that. Staying strong in your view, staying true to yourself, truth telling. All of these things will help. Every last one of them. So, as I say, we've just got to go with the flow. We are frustrated because we are awake more than others. And we know that things are going to happen. The man on the street, the average guy who's not awake, doesn't know and doesn't care. And they have no frustration in their life other than the price of everything is so high. But, with all of the executive orders President Trump signed, I'm telling you, he's going to turn the country around very, very quickly. Prices in America, I would expect to be dropping in less than 3 weeks from now.
Yes.
They'll start because gas prices are going to drop, which means that the truck drivers who are delivering all the food and then the processing and all that, that's going to increase. And the costs of getting it to the shelf in the supermarket is going to be less. So the savings will then be passed on. And that's going to happen.
One thing Trump said about drill, baby, drill, See, here's the thing. All that oil that they bring, okay, it's got to be stored someplace, okay? Yep. They've got to store it, okay? And so now with the supply being increased, then the demand, the prices will have to go down. Otherwise, they're not going to have any place to store it. So with prices lowering, then we're going to be using more gasoline. We're going to be going more places. It's a domino effect. Yep. And then, of course, the groceries get cheaper and this gets cheaper and everything. And you're going to see a lot, just like Wyatt said, you're going to see a lot of things happen real quick.
Yep. And the thing is, the national reserves, and so the national strategic reserves for gas have got to be replenished because Brandon sold it all off. And manufacturing's coming back. I mean, there's going to be more jobs. People are going to have more money. So look, I mean, it's going to turn around. It's going to turn around very, very quickly, and people are just not going to be able to keep up. As I said earlier, we are drinking from a fire hydrant, probably 10 of the truth. We're drinking probably from 10 fire hydrants when it comes to intel and information. But I'm telling you, the entire world is changing because of what President Trump is doing. And borders are really going to be redrawn, etc., like that. I mean, the Gulf of America, that's a memorandum that's been put out about that. I mean, wow,
Don't forget the Panama Canal either.
Yeah, Panama Canal, Greenland, Iceland, Australia. I tell you, it's coming, and it's coming quick. And I think when it comes to Australia. Yeah, and when it comes to Australia, I think things would have to start from a logic point of view, and this is, again, all speculation. It would have to start here around about the 1st of February because there is a planned federal election in Australia for March.
Right.
The cabal has lost, and they've admitted that in the WEF, as was pointed out in the comments before. If the military alliance is going to come in here and do change things in Australia, they've got to come and talk to me, and you'll see that in my videos and the reasons why. But the thing is, it has to happen before these elections occur, because we cannot have a continuation of the cabal. So, as I say, things are going to move very, very quickly. The timeline, as I say, is converging, and it has been sped up with the actions that are going on. And the evidence of that is 200 executive orders and memoranda and the statements on policy. So, by President Trump on the first day in office. I mean, wow. Just wow. And he's kept every single promise he made on the campaign trail and did more. So America, well, it is great again. Or it will be in 3 weeks, I would say. You'll start seeing it, and you'll be starting to feel it in your pocketbook. That's it.
Okay, I got a story I want to share with you, but first let's address this Trump's hand on the Bible thing, because the hand on the Bible thing was actually something that was started by the Masons. Okay, the Freemasons. Okay, and why does he have to swear? You don't want to swear at God, swear on God. A word. You don't want to swear on God's word. Wyatt explained that to you earlier. But here's the thing, okay? He was already commander in chief. Okay? You're still living, whoever put that comment up, you're still living in the corporation. Okay? You're not going to ascend if you don't get out of 3D. And the other thing is, quit watching a stinking movie. They're putting all these comms and everything out there just to confuse you. It's part of the soap opera. That's what go back and listen to this show again. Wyatt's giving you all the information. Brian's giving you all the information. I've given you all the information. Now I'm going to tell you a little story, okay? Before I give you the intel from the intake officer, okay? This is a good one. Now, first of all, the guy that I'm going to be talking about, his name's Kevin. He is a great person. My son used to work for him. He was my son's supervisor. And what a great guy. I mean, hardworking dude, smart. And he has lived with the same gentleman for 22 years. Okay. And he thinks the world's going to go to hell for him because Trump got elected. Okay. Brian, I don't think I've told you this yet, have I, Brian? So, okay, you're going to get a kick out of this. So let's stop that story for right now and remember how I've told everybody, and so did on other shows, I've told everybody about the North American Union, which nobody was talking about it then. Mexico, Canada, and now it's expanded to Greenland, Iceland, and the Panama Canal, and Australia. Okay, so I asked Kevin today, because he's the manager at a store, and he's a great guy. Whatever he does behind doors, that's his business. I don't care. But I said, Kevin, have you ever owned a house? And he goes, no. And he says, well, how's this job doing? I think you're the best manager they've ever had. And I said, I really see your dedication. He says, this isn't my dream job. And I said, oh, well, I said, let me ask you this. I'm just trying to get it. I'm going to turn him, and not in that way, but I'm going to turn him as far as he's going to realize what Trump's actually doing for us, because he's too inoculated into Brandon's 4 years. Okay. So I said, would you like to own a house? And he said, yes, I'd like to own a house. And I said, where would you like to have a house at? And he said, oh, well, there's only 2 choices, Canada or Mexico. And I went like this. Oh my God. And I just laughed. I didn't say anything. I didn't explain anything, because he thinks he's going to listen. Okay, I know he's not going to watch this show because he doesn't know anything about it. But if he was listening, this is what I'd say: take your pick. I'll buy you a house, Canada or Mexico. But guess what? Donald John Trump's still going to be your president. Smoke that in your pipe and take it. Okay? Hey, he's all afraid he's going to lose his rights. No, he has the same rights he's always had. You know? And as far as I'm concerned, what the Brandon group did was, in its own way, recruiting. Okay? And I'm sorry, guys, but there's only two different genders. That's all there is. And Mr. Rogers said, boys are boys from the beginning. Remember that? So that's the way it is. Okay? Whether you like it or not, I don't care. I don't care. You can scream all you want. You can cry about it all you want. The only thing that matters is how we treat each other. The only thing that matters is love. Thank you, Pam. We love you, honey. She's a good girl. The only thing that matters is love, guys. We've got all this other bullshit in our way to cause separation, division. We don't need this separation and division. All we have to do is love each other, okay? And treat each other with respect. I always told on different shows, I've told people, just imagine the man that you are relating to in public is your grandfather. Would you say F you to your grandfather? Not unless you wanted the back of the hand across the mouth. Okay. Would you say that to your grandmother? No. You loved your grandmother. You respected her. Okay. All you do is treat everybody with respect and love, and just imagine that person is your grandfather or your grandmother, you know. And you're absolutely right. She was right. That is not the real Vance. And we all know that. And
well, he's a placeholder. This guy is a placeholder. That's all he is.
Exactly. And speaking of placeholders, I sent an invitation to Debbie Stevens tonight to the show, and she's one of the placeholders for the governor's position. She is the placeholder for the governor position for the Republic. And I guarantee you right now, because we've been incommunicado, and you got to remember, Debbie and I are good friends. We're real good buddies. And for her not to be on the show for several weeks, you know, I like it. She is the woman that broke nationally when they had that satanic thing at the courthouse. Okay, the satanic, she broke that nationally. And then after she broke it, I spread it around and everything. She never got the credit for it, but she's quite a little digger. She's quite a little investigator. She could come up with stuff, and I like Debbie, and she's a good girl, and I'm sure she'll be back with us after the Republic government gets seated, and we look forward to having her back. Right now, before we go any further, I would like to ask everybody their final thoughts. Fascinating Brian, what are your final thoughts for tonight?
So my final thoughts are take care of yourselves. And also, if you need greater assistance spiritually or new ideas to understand, you're welcome to contact me by my email, which is all lowercase blackmoreb369@gmail.com, or call my number 774-208-2377. I am available. And again, you do what is correct and, you know, for your journey, however that may be. That's it.
Thank you, Brian. We appreciate it. And Ziegenhorn, what is your final thoughts for tonight?
All we need is love. I love it. I just saw that as well. And I was thinking that I was sitting here humming it to myself. So just love one another and just know that all is well. And we just have to move forward and trust the plan that was put in place for our protection. So just go in love.
Absolutely. Doc G, what's your final thoughts for tonight?
I won't keep everybody too long, but I just want to let you know that I express myself in my music, basically. And if you like the Beatles, I did a song called Dancing in the Rain, which is a tribute to them, and it's on my bandcamp.com. So it's genepiro.bandcamp.com. Check that out. But I also want you to realize the journey. And my journey has been to put this stuff together for years. I just never had a lot of people to put it together with. I had ideas, I had dreams, I had goals, but I never had the people to do it. And now I think I have the people to do it. We can make it all come true. So I'm asking everybody, if you like the music, buy it. If you like to donate to the station and keep it going, please do. And if you need anything from me at any time, I'm at ADMIN, admin at HamiltonRadio.net. I'll get you in touch with Chance, Wyatt, and Fascinating Brian, any of them. They're all my friends. And just want to look for a better day coming tomorrow, whether it's with Trump or, something else down the road. But for right now, Trump is doing a great job. I have no problems, no complaints, and want everybody to be happy. And we understand the problem of money because we're, like Chance said, we're all going through it. I'm still going through it. But we keep it going. The thing is to keep it going. And that's my message. Keep it going no matter what you do. Remember, we're here for a short time. Make it count. Thank you.
Wyatt, what's your final thoughts tonight, brother?
Well, it's pretty much a reiteration of what Brian said, because we do need to be in communication with each other, be kind to each other. That's not a sign of weakness. Kindness is not weakness, but we need to be strong in ourselves. We need to encourage other people to be strong in themselves, and to communicate with other people, connect with people, and the more we connect with people, the stronger the community will be, and the more it will grow. Because for centuries, millennia, they have done everything they can to divide us. So now is the time for everybody to get together. We are all celebrating this big victory that President Trump has had. The war is over. Now the cleanup has begun. We're definitely in the cleanup phase. And, while celebrating, we need to project our, to everybody, open arms that, we're going to welcome everybody in. And I was doing that last night. I have an outlet. I go to karaoke. I have an outlet to just go out and have a sing, and whether I'm good or bad, it doesn't matter. But the thing is, that's karaoke. But the thing is, talking and connecting with people, I think, is probably the best thing that we can do right now. Just forget about the RV. It will happen when it happens, right? Forget about, all of this material stuff. I mean, yes, it's pretty hard when you go on paycheck to paycheck, and maybe not making it, but just get out of a negative mindset, please. Please, everybody, get out of a negative mindset. But be strong within yourself. Speak your truth, as I said earlier, and just go forward and unite people around you. And when you see that there's negative people or people who want to do bad influence, you avoid those, obviously. But and we are under a spiritual attack at the astral level, especially the truth tellers. And there are ways in which you can protect yourself. Shungite, drink plenty of water, grounding, getting the protection from the armor of God, and asking the 7 archangels of heaven to protect you. Anyway, so thank you very much. That's all I have to add to the human store of knowledge tonight.
Thank you so much, Wyatt. Folks, all I want you to do is keep an open mind and an open heart. As long as you can do that, you've made it through another day successfully. You've created positive energy, and you can manifest. Shalama, 520-7418. Shalama, 520-7418. These are numbers we can't debate. God wants all of us to have abundance. Anything less would be redundant. Shalama, 520-7418. I want to thank you all for coming tonight. I had a ball. I mean, this is it's just great. A meeting of the minds and a meeting of the hearts, and advice. I get advice. People give me advice all the time. You take what resonates with you, and the rest of it, you let it go. Okay. What the world needs now is love, sweet love, and I love you all. I'm Chance McFadden. This is Chance's Chat, live on HamiltonRadio.net. Please buy some $5 $5 raffle tickets to support the station. Okay. I will personally see to it that it is a legitimate raffle, and the guitar will be shipped out to you. I thank you all so much. Good night.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.